Okay, so I'm a midwife. I've been a midwife for 30 years. I fell into midwifery after a career in nursing. I was nursing for about 9 years and moved to a different part of the country. Fancied a change and discovered midwifery. And the minute I started, I never looked back. So, is midwifery for you? What is a midwife? Um, Midwife means with woman, and what that means is that you're working with women on a daily basis. You are supporting women through pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, birth, postnatally, and in the early weeks of life. So you're covering quite a broad area and quite a compressed length of time working with women and families. And you'll be providing skilled, knowledgeable and compassionate care to those women. Many of the values that Lynn has highlighted in her talk apply to midwifery as well. So when you apply, what we will be looking for are people who recognise those and can demonstrate those NHS values. The title midwife is protected in law, and what that actually means is that only a midwife or a registered doctor can provide care for a woman during the birth of her baby. So it's a very privileged role as well. And you play a key role in also reducing maternal and newborn mortality and morbidity. So it's a very important role because you're making a vital contribution to women, their families, their babies, to their survival right across the globe. Midwives, it's an important role right across the world, not just in the UK, but everywhere. So, what's it like being a midwife? Being a midwife is exciting. No 2 days are ever the same. No two women are the same. No two births are the same. No two families are the same. So each day you work will be different from the next. And that can be very exciting, but it can also be very challenging as well. Because having said that not all births are the same, also it means that it's not all sweetness and light, because not every woman's story is the same, and there can be some challenging things that you will come across where you will need to support women and provide really good care for them. So that will involve problem solving, it may involve some leadership attributes, it also involves very much working as part of a team. Although midwives can be the lead professional in providing care and supporting women, and they are fully accountable for all the care and decisions that they make and the care that they provide, you are very much working as part of a team, because there will be women who have other needs as well. They may have mental health needs, they may have medical problems that they will need support with. There could be, many different needs where other members of the team will need to be involved in that care. And as the midwife, you will probably be the person that is coordinating the this for the woman. You will need to advocate for women as well. And what that means is you may need to speak up for women where they feel unable to speak up for themselves. And I thought it was really interesting when Lynn said that she gets called gobby. Midwives are the same. Midwives are gobby as well. But midwives are also known as being a bit deviant as well. And the reason that they have that image is because midwives may need to support women who want alternative types of care. So it may be that a woman wants to have her and she's been advised not to. The midwife still has to provide care for that woman, and she has to provide skilled care to enable the woman to have the safest possible birth as is possible. And she may need to speak up for that woman and say, well, actually, this woman wants this provision of care. How can we provide it? So what sort of attributes do you need to be a midwife? Many of these are the same as what Lynn was saying in her talk. There are the NHS values in there. there's courage, there's compassion. You need to be a really good communicator. You need to be committed to your work as well. And you will also need to be competent. And the 3 years that you study for your degree, you will be learning the competencies, proficiencies, and skills of a registered midwife. So when it comes to the point of registration after the 3 years, then you will be able to provide all the skills needed for a woman wherever she is on her childbearing journey. Some of these you will already have, and some of these you will develop whilst you're studying for your degree. But additionally, you will learn to develop intuition. An example of that is when you are caring for women during the birth. Very quickly, you learn to use all your senses to be able to assess whether everything is going well for the woman or whether she may need some additional care or have additional needs that need responding to. And during your university degree, you are expected to provide care for at least 40 women and be present for the birth. And during that time, you will develop skills in learning from what you see, from what you smell, what you sense. You know, all those senses you will be using when you're caring for women. And this can be very challenging, and you will need to develop quite strong emotional and mental strength to enable you to deal with it. And that's where the team comes in, because the team is there to support you. And Lynn was talking about some of this when she was saying that you need to have energy and you need to have strength to pursue a career in the health service. And that is because it's a fast-paced environment. People present many different challenges, and it's exactly the same with women. You will meet women from all walks of life. You will meet women that are part of a family. You will meet women who are on their own. You will come across safeguarding issues. You may come across asylum seekers, women who are substance users, and this will challenge you, and this will, make you think a bit more about, about you and about, how you make judgments. And one of the key things is having respect for women across all walks of life, having respect for diversity, and also being non-judgmental as well. And also as well, you have to be pretty adaptable. Occasionally you may be looking after a woman, say she's giving birth, and she may suddenly decide that she changes her plan, and you will need to adapt very quickly to whatever it is that that woman wants. So in midwifery, it's a 3-year study for degree and your registration. This is pretty similar for most universities throughout the UK, so do check when you're looking at universities where you want to study about the length of the programme. But normally it will be 3 weeks study, 45 weeks of the year. We are regulated by the Nursing and Midwifery Council, who state that 50% of that time is in university learning the theoretical components, and 50% of the time is in practice, which is where you'll be in the clinical environment and being supported by midwives as you learn the skills that you need. You're studying for 2 things, which is why it's 45 weeks. You're studying for your registration as a midwife with the Nursing and Midwifery Council, but you're also studying for your midwifery degree as well. So as you can imagine, that is going to take up a lot of your time. You will not get the long summer weeks that students studying non-related, non-health degrees get. You will be working for most of the year with just your 7 weeks holiday. Once you register as a midwife, there are lots of different areas that you can work in. You could work in the hospital environment. That might mean being on labour ward, on the antenatal or postnatal ward, or maybe an antenatal clinic. You can work in the community. There's a big move for midwives to provide continuity of care for women and continuity of carer. So that would mean you would work in the community, you would have your own caseload of women for whom you would provide the majority of their care. You could work in specialist areas. For example, you may have an interest in women with diabetes, so you may work in that area, or you may have an interest in substance misuse, and you may support women who substance misuse. And that was my role for many years, and I very much enjoyed it. You may choose to work in a birth centre, which might run alongside a normal maternity service in a hospital, or it may stand on its own. You could work in sexual health, you could work in research, and there are many midwives performing a lot of research at the moment. I'm currently looking at language in maternity services, so I'm doing research alongside working as a lecturer as well. So you could go into education, or you could also do further study, which Lynn highlighted in her talk. And that might involve doing a master's degree, or it might involve doing doing a PhD or doctoral research. And that is midwifery in a nutshell. So if you do have any questions, please do put them in the question and answer box, and I'm around for the rest of this session to be able to answer them for you. Thank you very much for listening.